If I'm going to look at your putting first, on the left is your putting stroke before we began making adjustments, and on the right is after we worked on a few things. The forward swing through the ball is what I adjusted first in your putting stroke. At impact, you have your eyes straight down to the golf ball. But as you go forward, a couple of things happen here. One, your eyes follow the ball immediately. All the way through. On the right, I had you hold this position. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And I didn't want you to turn and look until your putter came to a complete stop. And so you had a much better feel for distance, and you will develop a much better feel for distance if you hold your posture and hold your form through impact. So that was a big important change that you made, and I really like that. I want you to continue to work and develop that. So that is very common feeling, is to hold your head still and swing to your follow through. The other important observation to make on the left versus on the right, when you do this putting stroke where you try to hold your posture before you turn and look and hold your finishing point, it also improves the one-piece stroke where you're not wristy with your stroke. I've drawn a red line off the left arm and shaft of the club. In both the left and the right, that angle from your left arm and shaft is about 160 degrees. I'm now going to go to the follow through on the left and the right. We'll do the left first, and we're going to see if the wrist angle changes much. It'll probably change a little, but how much it changes in the back of that left wrist is important. When you get to the final position here, you have increased the angle in the back of your left hand by 25 degrees. It went from 160 to 135. So you did increase it quite a bit. Also, your hands stopped right just inside your left foot. So you swung your putter head fairly far through the stroke, but you didn't swing your hands through the stroke. So you basically were just swinging the putter head with your wrist. Now let's look at how your new stroke, where you're thinking about hitting through the ball and holding your finish, how it affects and improves the stroke itself. So as you go forward, head is still down, very good. You changed your wrist angle only 11 degrees. So you went from a 25 degree cupping action to only 11 degree cupping action, a much improved action. But also you can see how your hands swung much further forward and your follow through was a little bit further forward. So your actual stroke is now much more of a one piece. It's a shoulder stroke, it's an arm swing, and it's not a wristy stroke when you do these new fundamentals. So that's going to be important for you to continue, and your putting stroke will improve and your putting performance will. I'm now going to look at some of the work we did with your little chipping action. On the left is your swing when you were using the lob wedge, and on the right is when you were using the pitching wedge. On the left, you're set up in both the chip and the pitch are very similar. One of the changes I did make in your chipping swing is I wanted you to have your feet a little closer together, which you can see that you do have your feet a little closer together. You have a nice straight line from the shoulder down to the club on the right. You have a pretty good extension. There's just a little bit more of a bend in your left arm, but it's pretty close to what I would want. you do have a little bit more weight on your left side, both in the left and the right swing. Your hands are also a little bit in front of the ball, both with your lob wedge and your pitching wedge. So all of those are very good. Now, as we do our backswing, you're going to have a much larger backswing on the left because you're using a lob wedge, and you need to have a little bit more club head speed to get the ball to the target. When you get to the end of your backswing for this little pitch, you've got a nice angle in the shaft and forearm. So you've hinged your wrist. That's good. You've maintained your weight on the left side. I like that a lot. You do bend your arm a little bit, which as you improve your fundamentals, you will learn how to keep that arm more extended. But that looks pretty good. Now, as you come through impact, I want us to pay particular attention to your left arm. Now at impact, your left arm is starting to bend quite a bit there. As you continue forward, it bends even more. And so you have lost that extended arm, as that your back of your left wrist really gets cupped right there, and your elbow really starts swinging behind you a little bit. One of the things that we worked on your chipping swing is the feeling of staying, you have a much shorter backswing because you're using a pitching wedge for the same target distance. Kept your arm nice and straight. And as you come through the ball, you can see how you're keeping this arm very straight. In fact, everything there looks really good. There's quite a bit of difference in the two finishes, in that you kept your elbows closer together on the right, and you kept your left arm straight on the right. And on the left, with your pitching swing, you collapsed your elbows started separating a little bit. So as we continue to work on your fundamentals on the chipping and pitching, we're going to want to come closer to adopting this fundamental and this look on the right. The only thing that we will now add to your chipping and pitching swing is to have a little bit more activity with the lower body, so that you are turning just a little bit with the hips, that you're moving off the back foot just a little bit onto the left foot, so there's a little bit of movement towards the target with your lower body, and there's a little bit more rotation in your hips. And we will work on that next time.